From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.
Good day. This is Dateline Malacañang. Philippine Department of Energy or DOE Secretary Rafael Lotilla on Monday proudly hosted the ceremonial launch of the Energy Sector Emergency Operations Center or ESEOC and the symbolic turnover of a miniature Mobile Energy System or MES at the Energy Center in Bonifacio Global City or BGC in Taguig City. On behalf of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin delivered the President's keynote message. The event showcased the innovative and sustainable energy management system that provides scalable strategies to enhance resilience and reliability. The ESEOC will enable the DOE to spearhead a coordinated disaster response process and system, offering clear guidance on how key energy partners can prevent or mitigate disruptions in the delivery of essential electricity services to affected areas, while the MES is designed to improve energy access in remote communities and strengthen resilience during natural disasters and cyber threats to power utilities. Let's listen to Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s keynote address delivered by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin.
We gather here today for the launching of the Energy Sector Emergency Operations Center and Mobile Energy System. Regrettably, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. is unable to be with us today. With your indulgence, I hope that you will allow me to read the speech he prepared for this important event. Today, we claim another important milestone to ensure the continued delivery of services and sustained government operations in times of disasters with the launching of the Energy Sector Emergency Operations Center and the Mobile Energy System. These remarkable undertakings of innovation demonstrate how we capitalize on technological advancements and how we can provide proactive solutions to the energy challenges that beset our country. There is no doubt that these innovations will help in terms of guaranteeing power supply when it is needed most, especially during calamities. Electricity makes relief, response, and reconstruction possible. We know from bitter experience that power delayed is not only rehabilitation deferred, but development denied. Without power, hospitals cannot treat the injured, food are spoiled, and communication is cut off. For people and places devastated by disasters, nothing conveys the assurance that everything will be all right than the availability of power. We cannot count on people's resilience alone. People's patience is not a renewable resource. We must put in place contingencies. With the Energy Sector Emergency Operations Center, the government would be able to conduct near real-time monitoring of our energy infrastructure, such as the grid performance and distribution network, especially during disasters when power service is at risk. It will also serve as a centralized hub for collaboration and information sharing across the entire energy supply chain to ensure seamless coordination among local, regional, and national authorities in times of crisis. Complementing the Operations Center is the Mobile Energy System, or the MES, which taps into a renewable energy source and can be used for microgrids, businesses, health facilities, and homes. The MES is a safe, dependable, and sustainable power source for emergencies, disaster relief efforts, and critical infrastructure operations in case traditional sources falter. These systems will ensure the continuous operation of critical infrastructure and basic services in emergency situations. We will hold the pilot run of the MES in the typhoon-prone municipalities of Santa Ana and Lalo in Cagayan Province. MES units will also be distributed to various government agencies, showing our commitment to improve government services in times of crisis. Let me say with pride that these projects are the result of dynamic collaboration between the Department of Energy and the United States Agency for International Development, or the USAID. These projects show the power of unity and the value of cooperation. I express my sincerest gratitude for the USAID for sharing their resources and expertise for these projects. I also thank the Department of Energy for bringing these projects to fruition to improve the resilience of our energy systems. Indeed, these projects have shown that government cannot and should not solve all our problems alone. We must leverage the resources and minds available from the private, non-government, and international partners. Many challenges lie ahead of us as we pursue the attainment of energy security, but these we can surely overcome. We shall prevail over all adversity so long as we are united in purpose. Let us bring active collaboration and innovative spirit as we claim the bagong Pilipinas that we deserve, a nation powered by clean energy and a thriving community benefiting from stable, reliable, and accessible energy systems. Thank you, and I wish everyone a pleasant day. This has been the message of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. Again, congratulations on the launching of the Energy Sector Emergency Operations Center and Mobile Energy System that will accelerate our nation's thrust toward energy security and resiliency.
That was the keynote address of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., delivered by Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. returned back to the country early Sunday morning following his two-day working visit to the United States for a trilateral meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden and Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, where he secured support for Philippine development from the two leaders. In his arrival statement, the president said, Both Biden and Kishida declared their support for the infrastructure development and connectivity in the Philippines through the Partnership of Global Infrastructure and Investment, or PGI. The chief executive added that the two leaders also supported the Philippines' implementation of the Open Radio Access Network, or ORAN, workforce development for the semiconductor industry, capacity building in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and the country's membership in the Minerals Security Partnership Forum. President Marcos added they have also reaffirmed their commitment to a peaceful, open, and prosperous Indo-Pacific region. Let's listen to the arrival statement of Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
I have just ended my visit to Washington, D.C., wherein I attended the first Philippines-U.S.-Japan Trilateral Summit with U.S. President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Kishida Fumio. During our meeting, we reaffirmed our commitment to a peaceful, secure, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. We are guided by our shared values of democracy, the rule of law, human rights, and gender equality. We explored ways of enhancing our cooperation in a number of areas of mutual concern, including in enhancing economic resilience and security, promoting inclusive growth and development, addressing climate change, and maritime cooperation. During our meeting, the U.S. and Japan announced their support for the infrastructure development and connectivity in the Philippines through the Partnership for Global Infrastructure and Investment, the implementation of Open Radio Access Network in the Philippines, workforce development for the semiconductor industry, capacity building in the peaceful uses of nuclear energy, and the Philippines' membership in the Minerals Security Partnership Forum. We also exchanged views on a number of regional security issues of mutual concern. I took the opportunity to update President Biden and Prime Minister Kishida on the latest developments in the South China Sea, including the recent incident at Ayungin Shoal. I also had a bilateral meeting with President Biden wherein we reaffirmed our commitment to the long-standing Philippines-U.S. alliance. On the sidelines of the visit, I also had the opportunity to meet with Ultrasafe Nuclear Corporation to discuss our commitment to diversifying our energy mix through the promotion of clean and renewable energy sources. Additionally, I engaged in fruitful discussions with U.S. technology giant Google regarding internet infrastructure investments aimed at supporting our IT BPM industry through secure data flows. Our conversation also delved into the crucial role of U.S. companies in deploying redundant direct subsea cable links and providing training to Filipinos in digital literacy, cybersecurity, and cloud storage solutions. Addressing the U.S. business sector through a business forum co-organized with the U.S. ASEAN Business Council and the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, as well as at a business reception with the U.S. Philippine Society, I reiterated a clear message: the Philippines is open to U.S. businesses. Furthermore, I emphasized that trilateral cooperation between the U.S., Japan, and the Philippines is a natural progression of the strong relations between close allies. Over the past year, the U.S. Trade and Development Agency has led to activities worth over $500 million to develop high-quality infrastructure in the Philippines, focusing on renewable energy, smart grids, and healthcare solutions. Similarly, the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation has pledged to mobilize private sector investment in critical sectors such as infrastructure and renewable energy, with a new $20 million loan earmarked for affordable housing in the Philippines. Moreover, the recent U.S. Presidential Trade and Investment Mission showcased over $1 billion in combined investments from 22 U.S. companies and organizations during a visit to Manila in March 2024. This mission underscores the strong economic ties between our nations and the immense potential for further collaboration. Looking ahead, the upcoming Indo-Pacific Business Forum, scheduled for May 21 this year in Manila, promises to be a significant platform for fostering infrastructure development and reinforcing economic ties in the region. With over 500 senior business executives and government officials in attendance, this forum will serve as a catalyst for driving investment and growth in emerging economies. In conclusion, I'm confident that our collaborative efforts will pave the way for a brighter, more prosperous future for the Indo-Pacific region. Together, we can harness the power of infrastructure and innovation to drive sustainable development and economic growth.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines have been again elected to the Commission on the Status of Women, or CSW, and the Commission on Science and Technology for Development, or CSTD, of the United Nations in an election held at the 12th plenary meeting of the UN Economic and Social Council, or ECOSOC, in New York, United States of America. With this opportunity, the Philippines fortified its promise for equal treatment on gender, women's empowerment, and the development of science and technology. Philippine Ambassador and Permanent Representative to the United Nations, Antonio Lagdameo, extended the country's dedication to actively participate and contribute to the programs and initiatives of the two important commissions of the UN. Just this March, the Philippines served as chair of the CSW Bureau and its 68th session, and as chair of the CSTD during its 15th session in 2012, and also vice chair for the Asia-Pacific Ground in 2011. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, the Philippines' re-election only shows the trust and recognition of the world community on the skill of the Philippines, as well as its support to the development of the country as outlined in the Philippine Development Plan, or PDP 2023 to 2028, and Ambisyon Natin 2040.
Dateline Malacañang.
The Philippines Department of Migrant Workers, or DMW, on Sunday confirmed that 4 Filipino seafarers are on board the container ship MSC Aris that was seized by Iranian authorities while traversing the Strait of Hormuz near the Gulf of Oman. Upon the directives of President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., the DMW contacted the families of the Filipino seafarers, assuring them of full government support and assistance. In an advisory, the DMW said the agency is in coordination with the Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, the Licensed Manning Agency, or LMA, ship manager, and operator to ensure the safety and well-being, as well as work on the release of the Filipino seafarers. On Sunday, Iran's state-run IRNA news agency reported that the Islamic Revolution Guard Corps, or IRGC, Special Naval Force had seized the Portuguese-flagged MSC Aris ship near the Strait of Hormuz, saying it was linked to Israel. MSC, which operates the vessel, confirmed the seizure, saying that they are now working with relevant authorities for the safe return and well-being of its 25 crew members, including the 4 Filipinos. MSC Aris is operated by the Zodiac Maritime Shipping Company, which Israeli businessman Eyal Ofer partly owns. IRNA News said the incident comes amid heightened tensions between Iran and Israel over the regime's attack on the Iranian consulate in Syria on April 1st, which killed several Iranian military advisors, including 2 IRGC senior commanders. In a statement, the International Chamber of Shipping condemned the seizure and called for the immediate release of the seafarers and the ship.
Dateline Malacañang.
Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. challenged anybody to investigate the legal process undertaken for the preventive suspension of Davao del Norte Governor Edwin Hubahib. This after the governor cried foul over the Office of the President or OP's 2-month suspension. In a media interview in Washington, D.C., the president maintained that the cases filed against the governor was close to 2 years ago and went through the judicial process. The chief executive said he only learned about Hubahib's cases last year and was not even aware that these cases existed. Davao del Norte board member Orly Amit filed the complaint after accusing the governor of grave abuse of authority and oppression for taking a capital-owned vehicle assigned to Amit and was later reassigned to the Provincial Engineering Office. The vehicle was later assigned back to the board member after a month. Governor Hubahib said the suspension was a form of political harassment and has refused to follow the order issued by the palace. The governor said Special Assistant to the President Antonio Lagdameo Jr. influenced Malacañang's decision. Lagdameo served as representative of Davao del Norte's 2nd District from 2007 to 2016. Hubahib claimed his political enemies in the province swayed the palace's decision after he won the gubernatorial race in 2019 against Rodolfo del Rosario Jr., whose family has ruled the province for decades.
Dateline Malacañang.
And finally, Philippine House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez congratulated President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. for his remarkable achievement in securing a monumental diplomatic victory through the recent historic trilateral meeting with United States President Joe Biden and Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Romualdez said such partnerships are instrumental in driving sustainable growth, fostering innovation, and creating employment opportunities for the country's workforce. The House Speaker noted that the U.S. and Japan committed to continue their support for Philippine defense modernization priorities and upgrading the capability of the Philippine Coast Guard or PCG. Romualdez said, aside from improved defense and maritime cooperation, among the major benefits the Philippines would derive from the trilateral summit include launching of the Luzon Economic Corridor, which will support connectivity between Subic Bay, Clark, Manila, and Batangas by accelerating coordinated investments in high-impact infrastructure projects including rail, ports modernization, clean energy, and semiconductor supply chains and deployments, agribusiness, and civilian port upgrades at Subic Bay. U.S. and Japan pledge to provide at least $8 million for Open Radio Access Network or RAN field trials and the Asia Open RAN Academy based in Manila to enable future commercial deployment and an open, interoperable, secure, reliable, and trusted information communications technology ecosystem in the Philippines. Through the CHIPS and Science Act's International Technology Security and Innovation Fund, the U.S. and the Philippines will coordinate efforts to develop and expand the Philippine semiconductor workforce to strengthen the global supply chain. expanded partnership on safe and secure civil nuclear capacity building, including trilateral cooperation on civilian nuclear workforce development to advance the Philippines' civil nuclear energy program, and the expanded trilateral cooperation on the deployment of clean energy technologies, including renewable energy projects such as solar and wind, to support energy requirements in the Philippines and help ensure a just energy transition. Romualdez said apart from securing these commitments of cooperation from the U.S. and Japan, President Marcos also held meetings with leading U.S. firms such as the Ultra Safe Nuclear Corporation or USNC and Google, as well as top U.S. business leaders and officials of the Japan Chamber of Commerce and Industry or JCCI. Philippine Ambassador to the U.S., Jose Manuel Romualdez, estimated that at least $100 billion in investments from the U.S. and Japan may come to the Philippines in 5 to 10 years as a result of the historic Trilateral Summit.
Dateline Malacañang.
Before we conclude our program, we would like to invite everyone to come and visit our Facebook page and YouTube channel at Radio Pilipinas World Service. You will be able to hear and view our Filipino and English programs, including news updates here in the Philippines. Kindly subscribe, like, and share our posts as well. And that concludes this edition of Dateline Malacañang. For Radio Pilipinas World Service, this is Leo Magpayo. Good day and stay safe.
From the Presidential Palace, Manila, Dateline Malacañang.